Okay, so the request is for a restraining order. I'm starting from the credentials. My name is Nina Radley. My military service, I got the highest score in the initial exams. I was picked up 2 from 100 to be a military commander of soldiers. My class riflery was 05. I was of basic training. Then later on, it was in a battlefield zone at the military police. Then later on, I got a bonus to be a sport instructor. I did both the duties at the same time. And then later on, when the area was evacuated, I finished my service only as a sports instructor. In 2023, I was recruited to the police again after security screening, very hard security screening, where I worked as a sports guide as well in a base of officers to train new officers of the police, and as a lifeguard. Most of the people there have a very high security clearance and mostly a background of a high military service. My education, 2021, I finished retirement planning studies at Orange Baltar. 2018 till 2020, when I wanted to learn Russian. I have a BA, I have all kinds of qualifications, but I wanted as a hobby to learn Russian. And my father insisted in 2018, he insisted that he will pay my learning of accounting because of my skills and everything. He actually tempted me. He said it will be fun. He really wanted me to do it. And hence, I participated in the studies in the University of Bar Ilan. I finished in excellence, second in the class. I was first in the class till he died. Did the Ministry of Justice exams and had very high scores. My grades were about 82, and my initial final exams were 77. These are very high scores, and the passage of people is very scarce. 2007, I got a scholarship to learn .NET, which is programming language in high-tech company, which later on dissolved, so I never finished my qualifications. 2024 till 26, I was a tax consultant at my father's office and bookkeeping. This is the studies. 2004, 2006, I did the bookkeeping, tax advising at Mishlave College. This was actually very hard for me. I finished a degree in honors in psychology, which is a very high BA, bachelor's degree, because psychology has a lot of English and a lot of biology and stuff like that. I finished in honors. I got about 91, and I got into neurology. My father at the time said, which not really neurology, but my brain science. I wanted to go into artificial intelligence. My father at the time insisted that I would go into finance, and he actually requested me to learn the bookkeeping and the tax advising on all that. I have about 15 years, even more of 20 years of work experience, studies and acquiring a qualification in Israeli, European and American accounting, tax, financial management of companies, bookkeeping and IT, which is connected to finance. Software solutions for accounting and taxation, work and professional experience. 2022, I was accepted to EY. Ernst & Young is the number one accounting firm in the world. I got into the international department, American department, where I worked also there in outsourcing. I was in Boston Consulting Boston Consulting Group, which is also is supposed to be the highest, the most qualified people and the highest grades. There, 5 years I was working as a CFO, a Chief Financial Officer, in a subsidiary of the electricity company, which was a high-tech company for giving solutions of service of electricity connectivity. It was mostly with the people who finished the Technion in electric engineering, very, very smart people. It was a real big pleasure. We managed, if you don't know, the electricity company is mostly in deficit, has a lot of debt, but we managed at the time, after collaborating with the Chinese company and so on and so forth, we managed at the COVID to do a unicorn, to do an exit into a 200 years company, a British company called Mega, which was a due diligence process, a very complex process of due diligence, and also options for all the workers, at the current workers and the previous workers who had the options. It's a very high level, to do the computing and the calculation of all that. My request. The purpose is immediate restraining and protecting order. In the background, multiple criminal allegations, threats of my life, and also they have a murder case opened by Micha Gafni, is the head of now it's the Raoul Wallenberg Station of Investigations. In December 2024, he even phoned my home, said he's opening a murder file against Arik, Dan, and Oded. My mom died at 6th of March 2023. She was severely ill, paralyzed, and mute. She had ALS symptoms, may it be from poisoning or may it be, as a motor neuron disease. There is a suspected drug poisoning and financial exploitation. The financial exploitation has many evidence. The elder one, who is Muslim, she adopted 2 kids. The Aviva is, she claims she's Brazilian, but Dan is a Muslim. The Rabbanut didn't want to marry him. He has an adoption file, which he's known to be a Muslim. The main allegations are theft of large cash sums from the bank accounts. I actually didn't know about it. We got the balances from 2021. Neither my mom, neither me got any bank information from the bank itself. Because of a restriction order, we got the 3 years before her death, and you could see they were withdrawing money. They were withdrawing. She was, they made an ongoing power of attorney when she was already mute, paralyzed, and in deep ALS, deep atrophy. She was completely paralyzed. She wasn't the one withdrawing money. You can even see it on the 6th of March, on a day where she died. They were withdrawing big sums of money every 2 days. The elder one tried to overdose on opiates after a hip replacement around April 2022. The criminal law references. So we have the penal law, which is 300 and 301, murder and aggravated murder. We have section 435 of the penalty law, which is fraud and exploitation. Section 220 from the income tax ordinance, they have income, illegal income. You have other trust law is also applicable, and also the guardianship law. They didn't work for her benefit. They didn't try to preserve and enlarge the money for her. They were retrieving money for themselves. They also themselves say that they are needy families. They're not. They got a lot of money from the parents during their days. They all the time said that they're not very talented. They need help all during their days. And also they took in an illegal way. They signed her on when she was completely mute, detached her from friends and family, and signed her on an ongoing power of attorney, which never took effect. But on that background, around January, when she was paralyzed and mute, they were trying to sell her house. before she died. They had buyers and everything. And also in May, they came in, they have with the buyers and the planning to demolish the house. Forgery, property seizures, threats of violence. They tried to kill me. They were very violent towards me. They also promised to demolish the house. They opened the chimney. A lot of stuff that was going on here. They sent people to go around at night. Also, the delivery guy on in phone came without a phone-in before. Also without phone-in before, just came in the nights and stuff like that. When she died and they showed me the will, which I didn't know about, I took lawyers to negotiate. In the negotiation, I accepted a bit, I said, just leave that trust alone. We're not taking it into effect. I'm leaving the house. Stop hitting me. And please, 2 weeks before you want to come, please notify me, which we were already signed. They didn't want to show the assets, neither did they want to show the documents. They never showed it to the court either. They never showed the bank details, neither did they show, this ongoing power of attorney that they said in court, but, I never knew about it. So I'm going, the evidence submitted. So now on page 17, I'm showing the bank statement, the medical and neurological reports, the WhatsApp and SMS threats. So once the bank info came in, the younger one, who also tried all the time, he did what is known as illegal medical guardianship on me, which he, agreed with doctors without my presence that I'm retarded. I have a very rare neurological problem of shrinkage of my dormitory lateral in my cortex, and I should get. This is very, very rare and very harsh narcotics to deal with it. It's usually people in Kfar Idud and stuff like that will get it, because if not, you'll get strokes and really get into a clinical death. So once he already did it in the time when the will was done, he did it. And the elder one, poisoned me with that thing. And I was completely paralyzed and in strokes and awful symptoms. I couldn't speak. And actually, you can get this like ALS symptoms with the same narcotics. So when I got the bank details and it was known that they stole, he started threatening me again with these narcotics, which is life-threatening threats. Court and police documentation. So I'm going into the restriction order, into the evidence. So the first one is the SMS that he sent. It's in page 9. You could see threats of my life, that I will be decapitated. It was all during the war, so they were misobeying the home front command. I mean, if I need to be in a shelter, they were running after me in the garden. So you have this thing of, and also Muslims are phoning me, telling me they're psychiatrists and I'm not feeling well and they're coming to take me from home. I guess, they corresponded with very strange people. These people didn't want to give me their ID. On the 13th of this of November, they stole equipment which has evidence for my house. So לפני הקבורה יערפו אותך, 18 יום עד 7 באוקטובר השני, אבו תשואה יצווה לתקוף. My phone was full of that. He shows me the drugs, the narcotics, זריקה אחת בהחלטה בידיים שלך, which can take me into ALS. Now I'm going into the violence that was done on the 10th of January, which, prevented me from appealing against you have the social worker saying I have a violence activity, the doctor recording the violence against me for Maccabi and stuff like that. Now we're going into bank accounts. So the mom died on the 6th of March. There was also evidence of people that they were, I had people over, so they were witnesses of people that were roaming at night over here. So for instance, I'm going on the page 28, page 28. The 16th of October, we have a bank withdrawal 6,000. There actually a lot of also transmissions, transactions, just taking out the money. But this is, you could see she was paralyzed, and there were withdrawals of money. So we're going in the 10th of the 21st of November 2022, 6,000 shekels. We're going down. It's a lot. And she was completely paralyzed. The 1st of December, 5,000 shekels. And it actually goes and really, just one. We're going into page 29. This is the last day. In the January, she was with a neurologist who said she's completely, ALS. So now we're going, for instance, the 2nd of January 2023. You can just see that money is taken out from the accounting transactions, which is, 13,000, 35,000. In the 3rd of January, we have another 2,500, 5,000. And now we're going again to the Bankat on the 4th of January, 8,000 shekels. 4 days later, on the 8th of January, 2,000 shekels, another 8,000 shekels. Going on the 23rd of January, when she was on an appointment in the neurologist, which I'll read it out loud. We have 2,000, another 8,000. Just all, every 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Again, 24th, we have all these transactions out of the account. There's no appointment in the account. No appointment. 9th of February 2000, another on the 10th of February, another 30,000 goes out of the account. We're going on the 6th of March, the day of her death. Again, the 5th of March, we can see a sniffomat. It's again withdrawal of money 4,000, and again transaction out of the account 35,000. And a day of her death, 6th of March, we have starts with 4,000 shekels taking out withdrawal. She's completely paralyzed, completely paralyzed. Now you can see here on the 22nd of January, here EMG by Dr. Eldar. I'm going into the conclusions. I'm reading out loud. This study shows electrodiagnosis evidence for ongoing derivations and reinversions in 3 areas of the nervous system, i.e. the cervical, the lumbar, and the thoracic. In the lumbar and cervical area, it was seen in muscles that originate from different roots and nerves on the background of almost normal snaps and severely reduced CMAPs. In addition, in repetitive nerve stimulation of 3 Hz, a mild, we are now on page 34. The cerebral response was seen. These findings are compatible with motor neuron disease, which you can, from some narcotics, can be also the same symptoms. A differential diagnosis might be severe motor neuropathy. A neuromuscular transmission disorder is less likely since the CMAP's amplitude of the ulnar nerve was very small. Thus, the findings of the decriminal response is not specific. So this is, and all the time withdrawals of money. Now we're going on to page 37. I just want to show, because both of my parents were Olim Chadashim. They had a will submitted to the registry of wills, which was in English. But suddenly these guys, the 2 brothers who, you can see that stole suddenly had a will in Hebrew after 20 years that I'm doing the tax advising to the family. It doesn't make any sense that they will run the family. So the Hebrew was very, very bad. In court, in case 25135, the lawyer said she initiated an ongoing power of attorney. How did she initiate? In telepathy? It just doesn't make any sense because she was mute, paralyzed, completely ALS. It's like Stephen Hawking. She didn't have a machine to talk. How did she initiate it? And moreover, her Hebrew wasn't good enough. And moreover, I have to say, a lot of people don't know even what is an ongoing power of attorney. She's an Ola Chadasha, but most people don't know. My lawyer at the time didn't know what an ongoing power of attorney means. I just want to show her writing. This is one of her last day. She gave me a present for the holidays. This is the way she spells out Chag Sameach. Chaz Sameach. Now, it just also the will doesn't make any sense. Her Hebrew was bad, and they submitted wills in English. They had a lawyer who made wills in English. This is with the guardianship, correspondent with the guardianship girl. She's the supervisor of the guardianship. She talks about criminal activity and the need to report it to the police. עדות שקר בבית משפט היא עבירה פלילית, אנחנו לא עוסקים בכך, אפשר להגיש תלונה במשטרה. About her making initiating a thing like that. And here, we saw on the 22nd, she's a neurologist who says, ALS. That's what the neurologist says in a machinery, in a device check-in, but you can see this is actually, everything is my brother's, my elder brother handwriting. On the 3rd of January, 2 weeks before, he signed an ongoing power of attorney. So we have, as I saw, the bank statements of stealing from her bank account. This is robbery. It's a clause 386 and 388, robbery and theft. It's all chapter 11 of the penalty law. We have it in the bank statement. We have a medical and neurological reports. WhatsApp and SMS threats of they have narcotics on me, which is it just shows you, the criminal case of a murder, an aggravated murder, and so on. So the requested court orders is 10 kilometers restraining order, ban from residence and workplace, weapon prohibition and travel ban, and phone tracking authorization. I would like also them to avoid going abroad because they might take out the money. Also, they stole on the 13th of November, which I would like, I've been at the police, and the new case file is 544947 for theft. We have a murder case 4999808 from 2024, and violence and also theft, because they stole these medical records. They came in July 2023 and they stole these medical records. By luck, I scanned them before because I was very involved in my mom's health. I wanted to give her a caregiver. They didn't want to give her a caregiver. After him, putting opiates, overdosing her with opiates, she didn't want, them to, she stopped eating. She was afraid of them poisoning her. You have records with the social worker and the doctor that she doesn't want to get any pills. She was afraid of their narcotics. Moreover, they have her phone. In her phone, you can see, first of all, you can see 2 days before she died, she says goodbye to me. And you can see she also wrote to me, they're trying to kill me for the money. They expelled me from my home. They're trying to kill me from the money. It's everything in the notes, and they took that phone with them. So these are their requests.